AskReddit by significant C847. What stupid thing do people defend as smart? Blowing things all out of proportion to make a, usually political, point. Changing the definition of a term to be able to win an argument. Mark Twain said it nicely, never argue with stupid people, they will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. Picking fights with people who disagree with you who aren't interested in a debate reminds me of the TikTok kid who got a video of himself walking down a street puffing himself up to try and start a physical altercation with whomever had the misfortune to walk in the opposite direction past him. That sounds like an amazing way to become the victim of gun violence. Kid is lucky. Nitpicking the most insignificant parts of an argument and believing that it nullifies somebody's entire point. You have a lame username. This nullifies your argument. The Apple-Android war. I don't think either OS is stupid, but fanboys defending them are. Just let people use what they prefer. Whenever I say I don't like Apple, I always clarify that there's nothing wrong with Apple, it's just a matter of preference, otherwise people get mad. I have no doubt the same would be true if I said I didn't like Android. Debating to win rather than to further your understanding of what's being discussed. This is a good one. The amount of he she crushed so and so in that debate is crazy. Half the time it's because they were just louder, or changing the topic of debate. Sometimes the person being debated is just not knowledgeable enough on that subject so the other person can sound smart. I have no proof, but if you can't see the obvious, then you are just a sheep. Do your research. It's all over YouTube. That someone who is arrogant is smart. Do you ever see an arrogant person and actually think to yourself, wow, they're so smart? Because every time I see one I just think to myself, wow, what a dumb insecure douchebag. Surely if you want someone to think you're smart, you wouldn't then go on to be openly insecure. Because that would then just make everyone doubt what you say, and make you look dumb. If you have to shove it down other people's throats, you don't have it. Yes. Confusing confidence with intelligence. A lot of internet grifters take advantage of this to win audiences. Believe things without evidence and viciously attack those who do not. Similarly, finding information in random Facebook groups that contradicts scientific evidence, but agrees with their worldview, and accepting that as evidence. Falling for sales and deals that make you spend more money than you would have otherwise spent. If I just spend $15 more, I'll get $5 off. Okay, you got more stuff that you weren't even planning on buying, but you also spent more money than you were planning on spending. This, or just buying cheap shit that will break in a month. I've been told I spend too much on something like headphones or a computer, but I also haven't needed a new computer in like 8 years, and my headphones usually last 5 or 6 years with heavy use. My parents buy cheap shit that always breaks, and their house is full of cheap Bluetooth earbuds, a bunch of ultra cheap guitars because they were planning on learning, and other things. They could just buy something once for a higher price, but the price tag is all they look at. It pisses me off. I have better shit than they do and I spent less on it. Not vaccinating their children. My bill is doing this stupid shit right now. My wife and her family think this dude is so smart and here he is with a fucking baby he doesn't take to the doctor or get vaccinated. Like, when the fuck did we stop trusting medical professionals and listening to Facebook quacks? Thank God my wife isn't also stupid and my kids are vaccinated. Only Brazilians will relate to this, but I hate the Brazilian jitinho. People think they are pretty smart for finding a way to get away with everything, not following the rules. In most cases they are just being dishonest, and the worst thing is that if you aren't like them, say, you found a wallet and gave it to the owner instead of keeping it, people find it really surprising and something cure the idiot. Love this cultural differences and I hope they put it into travel guides or mayo. gets their wallet back and all they think is lol what a fool. I definitely see how that mindset would cause some issues. For context, I'm from Germany. We hang up a lost glove for the owner to find it, let alone a wallet. Even have a legally regulated Finderslan, which is money you get for returning a lot of money. Putting all your savings in meme stocks. No, trust me bro, you'll definitely get a percent return and in X years. That is what brokers have been doing to people for decades though. They call you up, hey, I've got a great tip for you. This stock is bound to go up. I'm so confident that I own 10,000 shares myself. Then when you are convinced to also buy the stock, well, guess whose stock you're buying? Flip-flopping on issues is seen as bad by many folks. Like, you know, changing your mind as your knowledge and experiences change. I just gradually change my public stance when I realize I'm wrong about something. So slowly that no one even realizes it has happened. That way, I am always right, now and in the past. Making less money to save on taxes. Doing your own research, aka watching YouTube videos to confirm your wacko beliefs. Doesn't that depend on the videos? Declining a raise because they lose more money on taxes than they earn because of tax brackets. But that's not how tax brackets work, and no matter how many times you show them the math, doing the arithmetic right in front of them, they'll still insist they lose money. That's not how tax brackets work, but it's basically how benefits cliffs work. It can be a huge problem for people with very low incomes. Just because you have a college education does not mean you are smart in all aspects of life. Always using there is always room to improve as part of job reviews. All it does is produces a line of upper peers who only focus on the negative of your actions, and raises the idea that you need to go above and beyond your work scope for a raise. Also develops the expectation of more work for the same pay, which is absolute bullshit of the highest order. Assuming the truth is always somewhere in the middle of a dispute, and always playing the center or both sides in arguments. A lot of people feel wiser by doing this, not realizing it's a logical fallacy. Sometimes the facts and evidence are very clearly on one side, and the other side is very clearly mistaken or deceitful. Every scenario is unique and must be evaluated on its own merits. Ditto for assuming an issue has two sides. Very few things are that simple. This is especially true with team politics, as we oversimplify a complex issue into a simple linear spectrum with the two parties' positions at either extreme, or worse, just a single binary choice where you're either with us or against us. Being needlessly pedantic about someone's minor grammar mistake. You forgot to capitalize the first word of your sentence. Big Bang Theory, the show. It's not witty and it's not intelligent. It is like somebody googled science terms and wrote a script that mad libs them in with a laugh track in the background. Same with Friends without the scientific jokes. Thinking they are more qualified than a doctor after 3 hours on the internet and refusing to wear a mask or vaccinate. Playing devil's advocate all the time. What's wrong with that? The idea that college degrees equate to competence. It doesn't equate, but I would definitely argue that there is a correlation. Parasocial relationships are so much more prevalent than I ever imagined. You don't know these fucking celebrities and internet personalities. Stop assuming they are amazing people based on a literal persona they put forth to the world. Who is defending it as smart? This is just a dumb thing you wanted to complain about. There are other threads if you just want to complain. Edit, lol they blocked me.